one thing I always worry about when creating a supporting character, or at least with my students, I'll see this. They'll have a central character. It'll be a pretty decent central character, right? Then they'll write this supporting character, which is awesome. This amazing supporting character, but then it makes the central character look weak because they are so good. So I always wonder, like, what is the balance there? How do you try and figure out, I want this dynamic supporting character, but I don't want them overpowering my central character? What I find is usually trying to find personality traits that complement each other is usually the best way to get around it. What do you have any
Hmm.
tricks?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. I mean, I think the trick whenever something is not working or is working at a disparate level
Right.
is to build up the weaker aspect. It's never to diminish the one that is stronger.
Very good.
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's true in our own personalities also,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Right.
if we're grappling with some of the excavation that we have to do within ourselves to write or to act or to create is, you go down and you fuss with some aspect of yourself that deals with envy or anger or those things. You don't seek to eradicate them. You want to have them there alive and give them their due, but you just need to build up the other parts of yourself that keeps them in
Absolutely.
the right relation. And I think of that a lot with characters. I think your point's really interesting about complementary traits. One thing I learned when I wrote Batman for a few years for DC Comics, and one of the things that I loved is that every character, every member of the Rogues Gallery reflects on a different aspect of Batman or Bruce Wayne.
It's
They all speak
very
to different
true.
facets of him. And so I think in some ways I've internalized that. I inadvertently, or I did before that just from reading, 10,000 books growing up. But you do want to have that where the secondary characters are illuminating something new in the main character, or they're making fun of or denigrating
Yes.
them. Like there's,
Yeah.
I think humor is massively underutilized,
I
in
agree.
especially in thrillers and in action, because we tend to want to have a very stoic lead character. And I think it's wonderful to have characters who are better at one thing than your hero is, and will kind of deride and needle and undermine, them in certain
Ah,
ways.
that's such a brilliant point, Greg. Oh my God. I love using humor in the screenplays that I write because I always use it as a palate cleanser. Because if you have a one tone type of a screenplay where it's just like a hard drama, if you or even like we'll say horror, if you don't throw in that comedy in there, then the audience becomes desensitized to what they're
Mhm.
watching. You throw in the comedy, and then it kind of bounces them back, gives them a little refresher, and then they're back with you on the story. And I can see that in your work, and I think it's brilliant.